Jakub. I'm a developer at Guru. I'm mostly focused on Rails and Ember, but recently I got engaged into introducing React to our company. So today I will tell you about the game for Rails that we have developed recently to decrease amount of work needed to integrate React and Rails. There are a couple of solutions. One of them is also official, called React Rails, but this solution is using the most easy and the most Rails compliant way of integrating these two things, and it turns out that this easy solution is not the best one, especially for us, and I'm sure that for most of us. So why it's not the best one? Rails as a framework I'm using asset pipeline is a mechanism that is responsible for serving assets, and it demands for all of our JS and CSS assets to be stored in specific directories. During the request, server is responding with one bundled file of JS and CSS. It seems okay, but it has a couple of drawbacks. First of all, we can't use node modules easily without storing them in GitHub, which is of course a bad idea. And we can't get advantage of ES 2015. So there are also some games for that, for supporting ES 2015. But still, and also something like Rails browserify to somehow wrap the browserify. But eventually we also bump into cases where we, for example, couldn't import CSS from node modules. So we decided to find something else. And we decided to develop our own solution. We didn't waste a lot of time for looking for a perfect tool. I haven't even heard about JSPM, but it looks really interesting. However, we decided for Webpack to also take advantage of CSS, and Webpack is our bundle engine. We store JavaScript and React specific code in different directory, stored in GitHub, of course. And Webpack is bundling these things to one bundle and serving to app assets, so straight to asset pipeline. But even though that Rails are eventually serving these files for us, we can take advantage of ES 2015 and node modules, because Babel is working for us through Webpack. So we decided for this solution. So let's see some use case. I'm not sure how much are you familiar with Rails, but I won't touch any advanced concept. The main idea is that we have MVC, so model view controller. In Rails view that is rendered on server, we can use provided by our game helper called React component. It takes two parameters. First one is the name of a React component that is firstly registered.
Could you make it bigger?
It's not so easy to subscribe. I'm sorry.
There is also this OS X zoom in, but I don't.
Oh yeah, it's working. Nice. Okay, so it takes the name of the component and the props for that component that can be used directly from controller, so no need for Ajax on first render. On the other hand, we have to register that component in our main JS file by using the provided helper, also called register component. And as you can see, we are also importing, as you said in the previous presentation, we are importing the component from other file and just using the imported class as a value for the inbox wrapper, in this example, key. So basically, we are providing two main files. First one is React integration.js that is responsible for kind of magic that I will describe later. And it is included directly into asset pipeline without any help from Webpack. And the other one is the helper that I just shown. So the basic usage is very simple. It demands for two operations. When first one is registering components, second one is just using them. And what we really do is we expose in this Rails integration.js file that is included into asset pipeline. We are exposing a global object on window that is called react-rails-ujs, but the name doesn't matter. And we provide some helpers to work on that global object, register components, deregister, and a couple of others. And I will come back to the JS, but first, what is actually rendering on the server? It's not server-side rendering in React way. It's just rendering simple div element with data attributes. First one is data React class that we want to use, and the second one is data React props that stores serialized properties that we pass to the component from controller. And actually, in the JS file, what we are doing in this React integration that is already in asset pipeline, we are basically searching through the DOM in the whole page on DOM content loaded event, and searching for DOM element that has proper data attributes with data React class name and data props, and deserializing these props, extracting the name, and using simple, just using React DOM function called rendered as the same as in previous presentation. So basically, it works this way that we, from the server, we get HTML with DOM ready to be, with DOM that stores the props in their elements. And then the JavaScript on DOM content loaded is mounting React components on that elements. So what are the advantages? First of all, it's Node modules compliant. It has basically seamless install, because all you have to do is install that gem and that's all. It's router ready, so a couple of our users have checked out that it is working with router. And from today, we are supporting hot reload that is working with Rails, and I'm not sure if there is any other library, any other gem for Rails right now that are supporting hot reload. But how we achieved this hot reload? It turned out to be very simple, because we were afraid that we would have to use some Node middleware to get hot reload, but eventually we just use the simple React hot loader and Webpack developer server. And in Rails, in development environment, what we basically do is overwriting the asset pipeline with assets straight from Webpack. So in development mode, we're just using the assets served from Webpack, and also those from asset pipeline. But we overwrite only these that are React specific. And our roadmap will be to provide seamless integration with Redux. Right now, it demands a little bit of tricks to do it, but it works. But we want to make it seamless, easy, and something like this. We want also to provide real server-side rendering, not the kind of we already have, and we want to have more active users. So basically, without any kind of promotion, only one blog post. We have new contributors popping in from other countries, so it's nice that people are using it and that it works. So thanks, that was all. I will post the link to this presentation on Facebook, probably. Here you have the link to our gem at GitHub. Also a demo application that is developed by my friend Martin Kornek. And I would like also to mention two guys that are not present here but are co-contributors to this game, Niechciał and Niechciał. You can check out the GitHubs on my presentation. So that's all. Thanks. And do you have any questions?
How many projects do you run on this thing?
4 or 5 internals, so it's not production actually, but these 4 or 5 are running pretty good without any problems, and all the things that we developed recently, like support for React 0.14 or something like this, or this hot reload or React readiness is provided by the use cases that we bumped into using in internal applications. Thanks.
I have a question about the rise here. Because don't you think that is some kind of spaghetti way while you are using the rise in this application?
Actually, I can't hear you.
Okay. So you are using the rise server to run the React application, right?
Yeah.
Why? You are trying to do the server-side rendering, which can be very slow and bad. You try to create a separate React application and consume the API from the React server.
Yeah,
instead of the pushing everything in the one repository and making our server-side rendering.
Yeah, actually, at NetGuru we develop regarding JavaScript. We are working with the React and Ember, and we for single-page applications we use Ember, and that's our default stack. But we use React for rich components in Rails-driven applications. So we won't use React as a single-page application for now, for sure. So this solution gives us all the things that we need. It matches all our requirements for Rails-driven application that wants to have rich components, not supported by Backbone or jQuery, then by React.
Okay.
How do you plan to integrate Redux when the reducer is triggered? When you trigger a reducer, how do you plan to push the information to the server?
The initial rendering with Redux is still under the process of thinking through. But we want to make it that the initial state, the initial reducer is triggered on server side. So it's like here in React in render component is just flashed with data straight from controller, and then everything through API.
Okay, so each reducer application is
the reducer is on the client side and has no connection to the server.
Okay, but when the reducer triggers on the client side, how do you transform this state information, the state transformation to the server?
We don't. It's completely on the client side, and if the state is not shared between the server and the client.
Okay, because at some point you may need, it depends on the application, but you may need, if the state changes on the client, you may need to transfer this information to the server and store it in the database or something.
Yeah, but it will be done by XHS or some JSON or something like this. It's basically to store the state between two environments, server and client. I think that you should use Node or something like this. I'm not pretty sure if it's even possible with Rails.
I've seen a lot of things done with sockets, web sockets. So when there is a reducer being triggered, there's a notification which synchronizes the state between the clients.
If the requirement for the app is to use WebSockets to push notifications on client side in real time, then why not? But if the requirement is not, it's just only save or delete, then there's no need to use WebSockets, and you can simplify the code base by just using the solutions that are right now.